Good there. And then I'm going to go live into Facebook. It'll just take a second. What is the name of your group?
The Universal Love Group. Universal Love. And then the offer is going to be the UL Pro when they give 55% off for the new members that start.
Cool. I was just thinking maybe I would share in there, but I think you can only share into one group. So I was looking to see if there was another option.
Okay, what group is this being shared in?
In the Mindset Mastery.
Okay.
Name in here. I'll come back and add a thing to it, but at least we got you in there for now, and it's tagged you. All right, we're gonna go live. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's just check on Facebook and make sure we're in here, because you know technology has a way of making sure, yes, we are live now. So looks like we are good to go. Hey, everyone, it is already Wednesday, right? No, Thursday.
Thursday.
See,
Thursday.
I have so much fun. I don't even know what day it is. So welcome Thursday. I just want to give everybody a welcome arms to coming into this virtual live summit. We have been having a marvelous time. The energy, the vibration has just been fabulous. People are asking questions. People are engaging in it. And keep doing that, because that's really important. Our guest speakers love when you ask questions, because then they know they're answering your objectives, and you know they want to make sure that they are giving you the most value. And so today we are starting off with Keshia Martin. I am so excited about having her on. Her and I, we've kind of worked on a few things, and it's been amazing just in the little bit of work that we've done, the results I've seen, and the interesting new things that are, the awareness that's been brought up to me. So really, really excited for today. Make sure if you guys have questions, I am watching on Facebook Live. I will, stop her at any point if there's questions and make sure we get them answered. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Keshia. Please introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about what you've got going on, the spiritual and energy healing, and then let us know what you do.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Jordeen. It's a pleasure. I'm excited about being here today. And it's been a journey. It's been a true journey. And I'm very happy about where this is going and how many people this can actually help. I am a vibrational healing coach, and what it means is that I actually intuitively help people with removing energy blocks in their body and things that are going on around them, as well as coaching them as I receive insight and showing them how to alleviate whatever is going on. So basically, that's what I do. So it's a coaching as well as teaching. I also offer courses where I help people going through that whole ascension symptom. Ascension symptoms are basically when you start to have signs, when you start to have a question where you want changes in your life. And then what happens is things start to occur. Whether you start to lose things, you start to lose things start to change. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it's for the all good. You feel like everything's coming against you. And then what starts to happen is if you can just kind of bear through those challenges, is actually good things start happening. So the things that you were asking for in your intentions actually start to manifest itself in this life. But before...
Okay, can I stop right there?
Sure.
Keshia and I did some clearing and some work. When I was expecting a 15-minute call, and all of a sudden she said, "I'm supposed to help you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And we were able to do some work. And I just have to ask and let everybody know we did some work. And it's interesting because, like, Plates have been flying out of my hand and like crashing on the floor. I'm dropping everything. So can you give me a little insight as to like, I mean, I like the idea that you said things are, going to change and they're going to be for the good, but is that kind of the process and, my awareness on like, why is this happening?
With your plates, that's a whole other ball game. That one's new. I think, when we first met, and it was, I started picking up energetically. So I kept coughing, and I started picking up that there was some things that were going on. And ideally, that's usually how it works. I start to pick up on things that are going on with that person. And when clearings are happening, it differs on each person. So some folks so what I've noticed, it could be mental. Maybe they're having mind fogginess, blocks are going on. It could be emotional, maybe past traumas, things have happened. It could be energetic. Maybe there's some form of spirit attachment or things going on where they're seeing things like that. Things are like, they always feel like there's something working against them, as well as it can be physical. Usually when it gets to physical, meaning like you're sick, you're going through certain ailments, it's a manifestation of one of the three from before. Okay. So does that answer your question?
Yep, it does. It does.
Okay. Yeah.
I think, the big thing is when you do start getting a clearing, you will notice different happening. And, when you tune into that and you start looking and asking why, then those answers are going to come to you. And I think it just, for me anyway, I can see where it can kind of speed up the process when you pay attention to what's really going on in your life.
Very true. And as I said, like each person's different. Like I'm going through a clearing myself. So it started to come through with my eye. I have like a sty that appeared. And each time I made like a decision or certain thoughts came into me, and because I know how to kind of clear myself. So as I'm going through the things and certain memories or decisions come through, I leaned in, and the eye did some, like there's one point it turned black and blue, another turn it got red and puffy, and it just like did things, manifested on the physical level. Other folks that I've helped, they've just gotten tired, so they slept a lot more, a lot of fatigue. They were releasing. Other times that they felt that they were crying, they were purging out things. Another set, they might just feel like, okay, this is it. And then they just did like a mass clearing in their life. They cut certain people or certain habits or things out of their life, and they were just ready to evolve. But if you're going through, I guess what I want the audience to know is if you're going through a lot of challenges, it may not be that everything's going downhill for you. It may be that one signal that you're actually getting what you asked for. You just have to you have to change your perspective on how you're looking at your challenge right now in your life. And once you make that adjustment, you can ask the universe to bring the right person to assist you, like one of us on the summit, or different people that may come into your life to actually help you go to the next level.
And I do want to let people know that if you're watching this and you're kind of questioning, you're not quite sure, what this is all about, and all of a sudden things just start happening to you, understand that's the universe saying you're ready and you need to look. And so very important, make sure you grab onto one of these wonderful 14 speakers that we have coming up, because they're here to help you and they will be able to help you. So, understand that, if all of a sudden you peek in here and, things get kind of weird in your life and you're like, what's going on? That's the universe saying to you, hey, you're ready. And we have the teacher. When the student is ready, the teacher will present themselves. And I really believe that of these 14 speakers, there are a lot of teachers that are ready to help all of you and any of you that are watching the summit. So just wanted to put that out there too.
Oh, definitely. Because it is a process. When I first started going through this, I didn't have a coach, or I didn't know. I didn't even know what an empath was. Matter of fact, I was going to the doctor's office. Like after our last conversation, I thought about it and I was like, what got me into wanting to help people this much, Mm-hmm. And I remember going to the doctor's office a lot, and they would never find anything with me. Like I was having headaches. I was having these different issues, and I'd go there, they'd give me stuff and it wouldn't help. And I realized one day I stumbled upon an article, and it was like one of those hidden underground groups, way before this was like a popular thing. And it said something about an empath, and I was reading it. And then to find out that, so I did this exercise where I just visualized how much I wanted to be connected to people versus how much, here strong, here no. And when I dialed it down to no, the headache went away. And I was like, whoa, what was that? And what was that? Like medicine, MRIs, CAT scans, like nothing's getting rid of stuff. But I did this dial and I'm all right. And then later on, I found that someone near me had an aneurysm. So that might have explained the headaches, And then I continued, and then I was going through another life change, a huge life change where I was going downward. I was going through a divorce, and you're chatting with people. And I was like, wait a second. I remember telling a girlfriend, I was like, I feel like everything I'm saying, I'm creating. Because when we have this conversation, it's starting to happen. I don't want to talk about it that way. I want to rewrite it something different. And she thought I was crazy at the time. She's like, that's just crazy. I was like, well, I'm not Miss Cleo. So let's just figure this whole thing out here. How about we talk some positive things and see what happens instead? And sure enough, things went the other direction. I was like, okay, now we have Happy Keshia. So, but even with that, like 10 years ago, it's still a process to rewire your brain. Mm-hmm. To really watch what you speak or watch what you're creating, and then to be intuitive enough to know what's going on in your body, and to believe that you also have the ability to heal yourself. So I think I'm glad you're doing this, because it really brings awareness. Mm-hmm. Not everyone in the country or across the globe are aware of how they're co-creators in their life. And how that it's actually an inward work that we need to do. And with the help of a coach or someone that's a healer, and a healer like myself, or one of the people that's been on the summit, that can actually help guide you out through this process.
Exactly. I just want to take one moment. We've got people that are jumping on here live. Give us a hashtag live, and as well, let us know where you're from, because like you said, this is a global event, and it's been so phenomenal to see people from all over coming together. And, I think that's one thing about the healing and the spiritual, no matter where you're at, that is a global desire. We all want that inner peace. We all want that, just love and compassion that the infinite love that we're born with. And I think our society has gotten so grueling and, not compassionate like it used to be. And we need to get back to that. And so, give us a hashtag live, and give us some likes and loves. And more importantly, if you have any questions, ask them. I'm not being rude when I look over here, because I'm checking my phone.
You're fine.
Sure. And I'm also making notes too. People, they're like, why are you all over the place? And I'm like, well, because I've got so many things going on. And I want to take the notes as far as, what, and I think that just allows me to answer more questions. And plus, I do this summit kind of for a whole personal, selfish reason. I'm looking for that higher spiritual a joy and inner peace, and desire it. And so, I'm doing this, primarily so that I can figure it out myself too. But I'm sharing all this education instead of just doing a quiet one-on-one with each of these healers. I am bringing them to the world so that we can share their knowledge and, help you figure out, what would be a good mix or a good match for you. So with that, you started this, your practice about how many years ago? I forgot you. Did you mention that?
About 4, I started blogging. And then as I was going into it more, I wrote a book and started doing the healings about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Awesome. So when your clients come to your ideal client, what state of mind or where are they at in their lives? The majority of your clients. I know they're all different, but
yeah, a lot of them, they've done some research, or they have some insight of this stuff, my ideal client. So they've read something, they have an idea what an empath is, and they've been going through their own challenges. They may have seen a therapist already. Maybe a couple of them have been there for a couple of years, and they're not having that that breakthrough. It doesn't matter what religious background that they're coming from. It's more about that one missing piece that they're seeking. A lot of them have a sense of wanting to go home, or they want to find themselves. And that's when they find me,
So I'm going to ask a question versus everybody. What do you feel is your difference between like a therapist versus a healer? What are the two different attributes?
You're breaking up a little bit. Are you asking me what's the difference between myself and like a therapist?
Right. Like between the two, what are the two different attributes as far as, the things between a therapist and a healer?
Okay, I can speak on myself. So as for myself with the healer, what I do is what's different is that I go down to the root. So when someone meets with me, like when we first met, I instantly feel exactly where everything is at. So it's almost like weeding when you're gardening. When you pull out the weeds, you have to pull it out from the root. If you don't, then it's going to keep coming back. So what's different with me versus me listening to the challenges and how their mindset is, I pick up on it. And once I pick up on it, we guide them through. Sometimes I have to guide them through certain memories, but a lot of times I pick up that energy and then we start to clear it. So how I see things like geometrical, this whole astral plane. Sometimes I see things in lines, shapes, and colors. And then I just I hear my guides or my higher self speaking to me, mainly my higher self, and I just follow that and we clear it. And the first few times, it did take me a while to feel very confident because I was like, what is this? What is this?
Why me?
Why me? I was like, all I was doing was sleeping. And then I woke up and I hear this stuff and I'm like, gosh. So there was a big intimidation of coming out, But then I would help people, friends, family, random folks on the street. Then I started, picking up clients. And then the clients would come back and tell me, Keshia, since then, that part's gone and now this. So like they had like real breakthroughs. And that's what spoke to me. And what differentiated them from like their therapist, I think with the therapy, a lot of times they're just speaking out. You keep repeating the problem, you keep reliving the story. And the challenge with that is that our memory is not accurate. Our memory only remembers about this percentage. And each time we retell the story, we rewrite it. And when we rewrite it, it's maybe a little bit worse, a little bit different. And then what we're doing just by verbally communicating that actual story, we're not only reinforcing it, but we're pushing that belief back within our system. And once it becomes once you're pushing it back in your belief, you're strengthening maybe a self-limited belief. We're not allowing ourselves to see it in a different way. So that's the one challenge. I haven't really seen a therapist everything that they deal with, but that's just one aspect.
Well, and I was going to say, when you're talking about we have that little memory block and then we rewrite the story. You also have to remember we're rewriting that memory, possibly at age 6 or age 4 or age 12. And your perception of how the world works is based on the emotional and psychological development that you have at that age.
Exactly.
So that's the hard thing that people don't understand. And a lot of that's subconscious, obviously, we don't intentionally understand that. But when you really start looking at it, you got to go, oh yeah, I have that memory from 6 years old. However, what was my mental capacity at 6 years old? Was it, was that a real, interpretation of it? And, you have to remember that's not true. You have, there was a lot more going on other than that one little memory that you have at 6 years old.
Right.
So, and the other thing I want to iterate to people, if you're kind of, oh, this is voodoo, whatever it is, Keshia and I did not know each other. We had no connection at all. And, I could see some things going on and I'm kind of laughing. And she was just, ready to see if this was a good thing. And all of a sudden she started doing what she's doing. And if this is the healing she's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be here to help you. But I want you guys to understand, I didn't tell her anything. She didn't know anything about me. In fact, you hadn't even stalked me on Facebook, had you?
No.
that had introduced us. So she was just, going on her friends. She hadn't even stalked me, but she was point on. Anything that she brought in was all validated in truth. And like I said, she had no idea of who I was. So I want you to understand that there is power in this. And I mean, literally, I'm like going, how the heck did she know that? And, because like we got introduced, I set up a Zoom. I mean, like she didn't, and I asked her, did you stalk me? And she's like, no, I don't even know who you are. So I want people to understand that these healers actually can do this. And if you just allow it and open up to it, you can have amazing things happening. So
that's so true. And I remember, and this is how much I can relate to folks, because I was raised in I don't really get into religion first off, but I'm gonna touch on some things, regardless of what you believe in. I had started off as in a Christian faith. And I had questions as I was reading my Bible and going through things. And as I was doing that, how it all started was one day, I'll give you the short story of it. I heard a scripture. Like my son handed me the Bible and I was like, okay. So I opened it up, I hear the scripture. So, and it was in there. And this went on for months. And then one day I was like, wait a second, how come I've never found one that's not in there? Like, how come I never got a false one? And then another day came and I got like 5 in a row. And I was like, you know what? I haven't been to church in a while. I'm going to just go. Because I was like, if I'm going through things, I'm not going to go just because I'm going to church. I should go when everything's good too. I had like that belief in my head. So I get up, I go that morning. And then the pastor that same morning went over the same 5 verses in the same exact order. Wow. And yeah. And then from there, I went on this personal journey. This is before I even decided I'm going to do this. I was a photographer doing graphic work and all of that stuff. I was happy. I'm still happy.
You're happier.
I'm happier. And I was like, so I started to, because I wondered, well, who's telling me this? And then it made me like search through different faiths and stuff. And there was a common thread. And then I just thought, wow, this is all before there was a Google or any other way to communicate. But yet certain messages had this thread. And then even if you listen to what they're saying, like if you believe in yourself, you too can heal yourself. You too can have miracles. You too can have these things. And these were some of the teachings that I decided to do. And I said, what the heck? I ain't got anything else to do. I had been in an accident. I can't see, can't sit, can't do anything. Might as well believe that I can get better. Might as well believe that they said I can heal myself. All right, what the heck? I mean, what do I have to lose? So started working on this and all kinds of stuff. And then I was like, holy nuts, you gotta be kidding me. Because when I had gotten the accident, this had went from whatever my prescription was to like 0.5 or a whole other thing up. So, and then I had a real high sensitivity to light. So I had to be in darkness. And a lot of my first blog posts were started from voice to text on my phone. So I was really out of it. And that's how I even started it. Like when I started receiving and wanting an outlet, I started blogging. But I share all that because there's some of you that are watching this that want more, and you can identify with times that you thought of somebody and you heard from that person. That was your own spiritual sense already connecting. Like you have these gifts within you. And what I am here to do is help you open it. There's somebody who has some issue with their mother. I don't know who it is, but I think that's what this whole thing is going on with me. And this has been going on with you for a while. If you need to talk to me, you can message me. But these gifts, these spirit, so the way you can think about somebody and then you hear from them or see them, that is your own. That was one time where you were connected spiritually. There's another time you went into a room, right? And you didn't feel good. You're like, I'm not feeling this. No, this vibe is like off. That is your own spiritual sense. That was your clairsentience, where you had that sense of feeling. Okay. So the same 5 physical senses that you have, you also have it on the spirit sense, except it streams out energetically. And these are the things that I teach to help you break past, because what happens is a lot of folks, they went to whatever faith they went, or maybe they didn't grow up in anything and they were taught one thing, but then there's a disconnect. So us to know what that disconnect is, it's that teaching that's what I help people do. So I help them break past the energy that's been built up and then unlearn that, get rid of it, and then find that connection within themselves. So it's more for them to learn how to be a stronger version of themselves.
That's amazing. And, you know, I just want to let people know that I know it's hard because in our spiritual and our religion world, you know, we are so embedded into, you know, just their way, which is fine. That's great, because I think everybody needs a higher power. But,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that's for me too. I grew up Lutheran, which is, you know, one catechism away from Catholic. And so it's funny because my sister converted to Catholic, and sometimes I'll go to church with her and she'll like nudge me, because during the Lord's Prayer, there's one part that they don't. And so she's always nudging me to remind me that I don't, you know, babble it out. But with that, I feel like, you know, we have this higher calling, and, you know, I don't, you know, call it God, Buddha, you know, whatever religion, whatever belief you have, you know, get there. Because the reality is when you have that higher power, that accountability, that's when we as a society become better people. And, you know, if you are searching for something higher, you know, the whole reason that I'm doing this is through the Think and Grow Rich, in regards to Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie, as far as, you know, we desire higher riches, and, you know, bringing an alliance together. And this is, you know, the whole part of the summit too is, you know, this is your spiritual alliance where you can grab onto these masterminds, and they can help you, and they can allow you to grow into those desired riches. Is that coming from me, or is there, I mean, I guess here's a question. That's got to be hard when you do like a group, because I'm sure you get so many different things coming at you.
Yeah, this one's opening themselves up. They're asking for it. So, you know what? I'll give it. You know, I'll help. I'll send whatever energy I can to help whoever is asking. You know, so they may be doing their own test pilot to see if this is real on their end. That's fine. Mm. We got quiet.
I was going to say, they're like, "Ooh, you're going to actually bring it on." Now they're scared.
They're scared? They probably are. They shouldn't be. You know, maybe, you know what it is though? A lot of the fear, what I've realized, I'm still going to speak from experience. It's knowing that this is within yourself. Because when I was going through my challenges, like my divorce, I asked a friend of mine had told me I needed to start to meditate. He told me these things about myself, and I was like everyone else. I was like, whatever. And then I would have people, including in churches, tell me my biggest obstacle is fear. And I was like, fearful of what? Like I didn't know what I was scared of, you know? And then when I asked what is love, I started to write like these things. And I was like, it sounded beautiful, but I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? You know? And it scared me. And then to open myself up, I thought I was going to hear or see ghosts or see like crazy stuff that, you know, like things in the movie. And so I'm ready to light candles and do all kinds of stuff. And went to the church and got holy water and everything. Like I was like, okay, well, maybe this is what they were talking about, being scared. So, and what I found was, it wasn't even about that. There are levels of energy, like when they say raise your vibrations, like if you're at a lower vibration, then you might see things like that more, you know, but as you raise up and elevate, there's actually a whole beautiful thing, you know. When I would have dreams of family members, and people have dreams now, you know, and a lot of what I found with what I do, people do it in these secret groups. They talk about these crazy dreams that they have and these experiences. But a lot of that stuff is where you'll find your insight. Okay. And if you just take a deep breath, all right, and think about your own personal intentions. Somebody wants my attention, something. If you think about your own personal intentions, because then you'll find your answer. Now, hold on a second. That didn't come. So if you think about your own intentions, you can align with raising higher. Okay, so if your intentions feels like it's really negative and bad, you have to really say, is that the way you really want to go? Do you want to be that bad person? Because just because someone says they're spiritual doesn't mean like everything is all positive. You know, some people can be, it just means that you're identifying with the fact that you're a human being, not just a human, but you're a being with that. And with that, and inside of you, there's a spirit. You know, and even with science is starting to catch up more with the things that we're talking about as well. Like when they measure the weight of a human body after it passes, there's a percentage, I think it's 0.8 of an ounce or something like that, of a pound. They can't measure because they know how much oxygen weighs, they know how much the human body do weigh, they know how much every, you know, so when all there's that 1% that they can't quantify, and they've equated that to being the human spirit. So there is that aspect of us. The thing with mankind is that we weren't taught how to develop these skills and abilities during the last couple hundred years. You know, but when you look back in the ancients, you might see, well, how did the pyramids, how were they made? How were certain other things done? Mm-hmm. So there's some physical evidence that there is that we had a higher level of consciousness and awareness at one point on this planet, but somewhere in between there was a dissension, you know, and now here we are after 2012, where people are now ascending back into that light. So when Christ came, I'll use him as an example. That's who I grew up under. When he came and he said, you know, ascension, and that he told, was it Peter, when he was walking across the water and believing, when he was saying all these things and the disciples were witnessing and the people were watching, they didn't believe and they saw it physically. So it's not too far from not making sense when you see people having hesitation or they have levels of fear within themselves, because they haven't been taught that it's okay and that some of the things that they sense and believe is true. And we have like the Western hemisphere, which is us in the US, and then you have the Eastern. And on the Western, we were all taught to seek outside of ourselves for knowledge. So we go to a therapist, we go to the pastor, we go to our friends, we have a drink, we do everything outside of ourselves. we go smoke, we shoot at the shooting range to find that release outside of ourselves, you know? And then on the other side, they were taught to meditate. So now there's like miscommunication. We don't understand what the other side is. We think one side's woo-woo and the other side is just crazy. They think we're crazy. We're
just trying to bring everybody together so we're all happy and crazy.
Right. But if you think of meditation as like a part of a conversation, like where prayer is like me yapping right now, and then meditating is you being silent and still and receiving, that's where we have our communication with source, the universe, and how you actually start to connect. And what I do is I help people to learn how to break past those barriers, learn how to fine tune so they can find the symbolisms, find the answers, and start receiving answers to their prayers. Because I think why people lost faith and why they live in a lot of fear is because when they've been praying, they haven't been seeing a result, you know? And it doesn't mean that one's not coming, they just haven't been open or taught how to receive the message.
And I want to, address too, when we talk about religion, there's a lot of unknown, and they call that faith, walking on the water. There's a lot of unexplained, healings, coming to the altar and being healed. A lot of that's in there, but we're not taught the full, how did that happen? It's just, well, it happened, and now the spiritual healing, what you guys do, that takes it to the next level. And, that's what people need to understand. This is the next level of that. If you're really interested in wanting to do more and you want to heal, it's attributes and modalities that you guys use that are going to take them to the next level of that. So did you want to address, did you want to address what's going on with you? Are you getting any?
I feel like I'm doing some kind of a clearing, and then I've been trying to focus. I was trying to focus. So what I'm feeling right now, I guess I feel pressure like right here in my ear. So it feels like something's trying to come through. So that will be our clear audience. And then I have it actually feels like a very powerful energy all around me that's going out this way. And I also feel like I'm supposed to, like a visual is trying to come through my mind's eye, meaning I would see it in my mind, not like with my physical eyes. So I feel people like urging, they want to know more as well as they're curious. And then there's some that are actually, they're wanting their own help and guidance. Yeah. Some people are saying like they can't get clear. Some folks are sad. Some are yearning for that connection. They want that connecting. Some are living these experiences and they don't want to keep living these experiences. But the one that's feeling like this, don't go down, okay? Like if you're feeling really depressed, all right, if you're feeling really depressed, hang in there. Go through it first off. All right. I'm going to tell you what most people probably will tell you. Like, you don't always have to be happy, first off. There's times that people aren't going to get you. They just, and you feel like they don't care. And honestly, they probably don't. I'm not trying to be harsh, but they probably really don't care. And they will be the ones that will shed the tears later after you decide to do, like if you decide to go the other way. But I'm telling you, don't do that. It's actually a dying of or shedding of where you are right now. So lean in, okay? Get a journal, write out the feelings. If you have to go on and scream it out, cry it out, yell it out, do it, and then bring yourself back up. Just release all these things that are hurting you. And when it's over, you can't cry no more. You would have let it go. And then know that you made it through it. So then you can say, universe, what's the next step? What's positive for me? Where should I go next? Give me the people, give me the right things, give me the job opportunity. I don't know where I'm supposed to be working anymore. I don't have money to hire these type of people. Like, what am I supposed to do? All right, I'm gonna help you right now. Just ask for it to come to you. And then I want you, this is after you're done your crying and letting everything out, I want you to go be still and allow things to come. And you might not hear a voice like, hello, Susan. Might not go like that. You might just, you might see like something like a bird, and it might fly by. And then you have a thought that says, you should call Eric. I don't know, and then when you call Eric, what might happen is he just happens to know somebody that can help you out with this job situation. And then you're trusting and allowing things to happen for you. But how you do that, you have to get in that space so that way you can hear it. And so you have to just do that. All right? Allow yourself to be in that space, to receive, to be receptive, to be open. You might want to sleep. And sleep. Allow yourself to go through these things and follow your energetic rhythm so that way you'll know what your spirit senses feel like, so that way you can start feeling aligned, and then you can shed the craziness that people have told you. They may have diagnosed you as bipolar, diagnosed you as that you need these antidepressant medications. They might have diagnosed you with needing this and that. A lot of these people are practicing, so they don't know what's really wrong with you. So, and what I'm finding more and more is that there's a disconnect with the spirit because you're not operating in alignment with your soul. You are falling in these negative vibrations. So you're falling lower and lower and lower. And that's when, in the stronger of a whole negatively that you have on you is how far away you are from your spirit. Once you get closer to it, that's when you're going to feel happier and you'll feel alleviated. So hang in there. Hang in there. I'm sensing something else. I see you looking at me.
Like, you're not done yet. So.
No, I'm not. Yeah. So they need to listen to their hearts. Okay. Oh boy, there's some heaviness. Okay. So your heart, you have to listen to your heart. Stop neglecting what you're feeling inside with your heart. Stop neglecting what you're feeling inside with your spirit. You have these abilities and these powers within you, and you have this gift. Okay, whether you want to call it from God, there's a person I need to say this to. So who this applies to, It is what it is. You are a gift from God, and you need to trust that and own it and believe it and know that you are anointed and that this path that you are contemplating is for you, and you must seek it and things will come to you. All right. Opportunities will flow. You have to trust the process. So whoever I was supposed to say that for, that is for you. Okay. and and other ones that are worried about their health. Yes, you can change you can change things. You can. You don't believe it. Part of you is nagging at you. That's why you're here. So the reason that got you here, that was 9 out of 10, it was your intuition. Whether your mind was telling you these people are fake and you need to, you're coming in with a negative thought process. The fact that you're here is showing you that your intuition is pulling. So lean into that side. Test it out for yourself. What you got to lose? If you took the medicine, if you took the medicine and it didn't work, then you might as well try something holistic. What's the hardest what's the worst that'll happen if you drink some cod liver oil or have some aloe or add some flaxseed or some ginger roots to your food? 9 out of 10, it'll help you. So try it.
Well, and I think that's really important to understand. When you're seeking, your intuition to present the right people. Like you said, Eric may be the person that you're told to call, or just start listening. And you might not even be, they're told the right person. All of a sudden, the emails or you're at the grocery store, whatever the situation will be, just be open and receptive to that, because, that's the universe bringing it into you.
Right. And some of you might be wondering, well, you actually might feel that this is for you because you have that sense. So right there, that's the energy. So if you're connecting and you're listening right now, then whatever sensation you're feeling, whether it's here and here in your body, the back of your neck, just close your eyes and be mind, body present. Feel where you feel the energy on your body. And that's how you start to connect with yourself, to know if this feels right or this feels wrong. And the more you practice with it, the more you get to know it until you master it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? Because I don't want to interrupt anything. And I think the interesting thing that, anybody that's watching this, we all have the ability and power to heal others and ourselves. First of all, it's the power to heal ourselves is within all of us. And we all are healers. Some of us will accept that calling and some of us will ignore it. People like Keshia obviously has accepted it. And first of all, I want to express great gratitude and thank you, because it's real easy. Like you said, am I crazy? What are these voices? I mean, it's real easy to go, well, that's not real. I'm out of here, exit stage left. But instead you embraced it and said, what is this? What am I going to do? And, Esther Hicks talks about it a lot, in the vibration and the secret, which I know more people have, watched that. And so they can get an understanding. And thank goodness they put that out there, because years ago, being a man, it's kind of secret to see and listen to, what was out there for them. And, now bringing this to the universe and like this summit, the educational part of it, it's just allowing people to accept it. And even if you are religious and you are spiritual, my daughters kind of question me like, Mom, what are you doing? Because I raised them in a Lutheran, biblical atmosphere. Now I'm out there looking for spirits and higher energy, but I've always felt there's higher spirit, and I believe in God. I mean, that's what I was raised, but, I think there's a higher calling, and I think it's okay that you can look higher, because, that religion gives you the base and the understanding and the knowledge of it. Now it's okay, what's the next level? I desire that alliance of, the spiritual alliance and the guidance, and, that's what I'm seeking and that's what I'm looking for. So.
That's true. I had to laugh because that's how my children looked at me. They're like, what is she doing? What's she talking about now?
Well, it was interesting because yesterday we had Klazina on, And, you know, it was interesting because her granddaughter was helping her. And I mean, she, you know, is a psychic, and she works a lot on acupuncture. And like, she's had to try to do all these different things because she's like, you know, her and her husband started a flower farm, and, you know, she was going to get stuck in the office, you know, doing the bookwork, and that just wasn't her. And so she went on a quest and, you know, started, and like you said, talking about weeding the earth. When you really pay attention to what the earth and, you know, the horticulture and our environment brings us, it has so many answers. And like she said, you know, just the knowledge and everything that she in that floral business, or that the flower business that she was in, you know, it's helped her, but it was also that experience that gave her a higher calling too. So, you know, look at where you're at and what you've got going on, and understand that, you know, there's a reason that we're all in the path that we are. And, you know, it's what you choose to do with it. And I just want to show gratitude and thank you so much for accepting your calling, and understand that, you know, you are here to help a lot of people and change lives. And I just want to express gratitude for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking about my kids too. And yeah, they're kind of the ones who help open me back up. Like, I've had things, you know, like, you suppress memories from when you're a child. And a lot of you watching this have had some experience, and it's probably suppressed right now until after this live you start, or after a couple of this whole summit, you start remembering, you know, some more experiences that you've had. But I remember when I had my kids, they had certain things, and I was like, I did not sign up for this. This is like way too much. I thought I was just supposed to like nurse and like teach them how to talk and stuff. This is just crazy. This is just like a lot. And now they're very instrumental with helping me. Like, they each have their own, not just like spirit gifts, but they also have their own level of intellect and gifts that they've helped me. You know, like my oldest one, you've seen the post, like recently, she just, that's just crazy.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And now they're like listening. You know, at one point she kind of tuned me out, but now she's like, Mom, I think you need to do meditations on campus or something. So if anyone's contemplating what they want to do, or they want to do something like this, you know, allow yourself to follow the path, because we need, our world definitely needs it. You know, we haven't been in this level of compassion in a long time. And now we have women that are opening up to these frequencies, and we have that level of compassion within us to help heal and regenerate, you know, more beings just like ourselves. So do it. Allow yourself to do the right thing.
And I think that's interesting because, you know, in my quest of, you know, trying to find the right people and, you know, the little experiences that I have had, the one consistent thing that everyone has came back to me, they're like, you are a healer. And I'm like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about?
You are.
But learning and understanding, and you know, there's a reason I'm doing this. And it was interesting because last night my daughter, she's been getting ready for a swim lesson. She's a lifeguard, so like she spent like the last 3 days in the pool, and you can imagine how, you know, tired in her muscles. She hasn't been in the pool, you know, swimming that aggressively for, you know, 8-10 hours a day. And so she was like, Mom, you know, will you rub my back? And I'm like, sure. And, you know, just the pressure points, I mean, literally you could just feel her energy, just, you know, be able to relax. And, you know, I mean, she was like, oh, thank you so much. And the big thing is I've always done that for my kids. And yesterday I was talking about, you know, in, you know, all of the pressure points and everything, I'm able to, I've intuitionally just knew where to rub them and to clear them. And, you know, when you talk about the chai and everything, it's like, and it was like, wait a minute, I have been doing this, you know? And one of the other things that was really interesting when I was just reading and, you know, kind of trying to consume everything so that I could do the summit really well. One thing that they say, you know, how do you know if you're a healer? And it was interesting because they said, if people around you are healthy, that, you know, that means that you are a healer and you've kept, you know, that you have that insight. And I thought, my kids, I didn't vaccinate them. Most of them, you know, maybe at the age of 3 or 4, they might have had an antibiotic. I know Taylor, number 4, she didn't have an antibiotic until she was 16 years old. You know, we really I really focused on the nutrition coming from vegetables and fruit. And I grew my own, for the kids, because I know with all the chemicals and everything, we're not getting good quality nutrition through our vegetables. And, so it's those intuitive things that I was possessed with that made me realize, it's like, now I'm like, okay, what do I need to do with this? So it's been interesting. And this whole summer, I'm like, okay. And that's, I'm opening up. It's like, okay, what, present yourself, because tell me what I'm supposed to do with this. So I thought it's been interesting if people are kind of wondering, where you're at or how, this works. It is interesting when you really look at all the breakdown and the steps that you have had in your life. You didn't pay attention. I mean, I didn't realize that. But then, when I really think back of it, it's like, my kids were pretty dang healthy.
Right. Right. I remember, you're so right. I remember when I was doing my graphic work and they would come and tell me I was a healer. I was just like, these people that are just trying to recruit me in their church, I don't know what's wrong with them. And they're like, no, you're a healer, And I was like, okay. And then certain things would happen. Like people would just, and it still happens. Random people will walk up to me, like complete strangers. And I'm saying this because there's somebody on here, they experience this too, like random strangers will walk up to me and they'll tell me things that they've never told a soul. Or they'll say, I just feel so comfortable around you. You just feel so familiar. And I'm like, and it's that energy is what they recognize. It may not be me. They may never see me before, but it's my energy that they feel, and I think that's what people are looking for. They're looking for something they feel like home. They're looking to feel recognized, something that they recognize. And that's your spirit yearning to that other person. But you all have been
that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting because for me, I worked in the resort industry, but like when I was off work, I was like the information center. Like people would come up to me and ask me, like, here's how bad it was. I lived on Keystone Mountain, right? Uh-huh. And we were in a little cabin and like there was a watershed. So like I literally had to hike half a mile out to my Jeep to get to my Jeep to go to work, right? Mm-hmm. So I've hiked out, I'm in my Jeep, I'm driving down the road. It's kind of like a snowstorm, right? I mean, it's snowing. I'm in the mountains, not a big deal. And all of a sudden, like I look behind and there's like a sports car behind me, right? And right. I'm thinking, idiot, it's snowing out. First of all, is my first thought, right?
Right.
Whatever. I mean, I'm stopped in the left-hand lane and I'm going to actually make a left-hand turn, right? All of a sudden, this guy like drives up on the left-hand side of me. So he's in the wrong lane. And I'm thinking, dude, you're really going to get in an accident. He rolls down his window and leans over and he goes, can you tell me where da 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 da? And I was like, and I'm looking and I'm like, what? I noticed you had local plates. I figured you'd know where this is at. He goes, I didn't want to be lost. And I'm like, okay, take a left here, go up, take another left, and you're right there, And I was just like, dude, I'm, just driving to work. I don't say information center, but those are the kinds of experiences that I would get. And I'm like, and I'm looking around, I'm like, did somebody like change my license plates and says, she knows, she has the answer or something on there, but it was just crazy. But those things would happen to me all the time. So I just had to share that.
And in that example, it was like more than one thing was happening with you too. There's one where he's looking for answers and it's like your brain sent a signal to him, like to choose me. So he felt like out of all the cars, let me connect with you. Well, then you had your heart that's like your intuition, like antenna going up, but then your mind is like, get out of my way. I'm just trying to get to work.
Well, when you don't accept it, I mean, I think that's what people, but when I look back and I always used to say, what am I, the information center? Because literally, but there again, people are comfortable in my space. People knew I had the answers and people even now, and even my kids, they always laugh. They're like, oh mom, cause it's like, they're like, well, who's that? And I'm like, I don't know. They just wanted to know, It's like, so I guess, what I really started looking at, pay attention, it's been there the whole time. I just haven't embraced it. So,
right.
All right. Let me look on here. We've got a lot of people watching and, I really, really want you to understand that if you have any questions, please reach out. Keshia is willing to answer them. And if there's some things that are going on and you're kind of not, comfortable putting it out on social media, private message her. I know she's more than happy to, take you to a private area because, especially when you're still trying to figure this out, we want you to feel comfortable and safe. And so, don't feel like you're not allowed to, because, this is the reason this whole summit is here, so that you can kind of, get rid of those questions, or really, make sure that you're, answering the questions that you really have inside of you. So,
that's so true. I have my own group, and for the longest, they wouldn't write on the wall. They would just wait and message me. I just answer them like they're not ready. It's okay. I meet people where they are. Right.
And I think that's, sometimes when you first, especially when you're getting into a group or a group setting, it's kind of like, oh, I don't want people to, think that I'm really that weird. But the reality is we probably all have the same thing going on. And, those answers would be good for everybody. But, we understand the process, and we just want to make it a safe space for you to come in and answer those questions. So, but I want to also reiterate, if you're catching this, give me a hashtag live, and then also let me know where you guys are coming from, because that's part of this whole thing, is just bringing the whole global together. To me, it's just so exciting that we have people from all around the world. And, we all desire that higher riches of, spiritual being, and, no matter what level you're at. I think Oprah Winfrey is probably the most famous for, I don't care how you get, to your higher spirit, be God, Buddha, whatever it is, just get to somebody, so that you can have that connection. So
definitely. That's so true.
So Keshia, what kind of setting do you have? You've mentioned you have a couple of groups. Give us a little bit more about your practice and where you're at and how people can get in touch with you.
Oh, sure. So I'm located on the East Coast in Delaware, but a lot of the sessions I do are distant healing. So the same way you and I connected, I would do it via phone or video to connect with them to help break the stuff energetically if we do like a one-on-one. So there's the one-on-one energy / coaching sessions. Two, I have the book. So if you want to know more of my books, my backstory, you can always purchase the book to really understand some of the things. I go deeper on the topics that I brought up here. And then three, I have the tools. I have the Universal Love Pro, which I'm offering as a discount here. And that basically is the whole sequence, the meditation, the application, and the prayer, putting all those things together, but then really going into the life hacks, because it's one thing when you start to embrace your spirit being, but then it's another thing to relate to people who haven't, and that, I think that's a really strong piece that's needed for people to really fully embody who they are when they're transitioning, So that's what I offer, and it can be visited at my website, which is my name, www.KeshiaMartin, which is KESHIA, Martin.com. I think I should change it to Keshia. But that's how you reach me. So there's the coaching. I have the classes on there, and I have my book. So those are the three ways that you can definitely learn, grab some information, so that way you can start applying these things into your life now. My main tool here is to help you break the barriers within yourself, so you can be you 2.0, or a better version of yourself.
That's amazing.
With it, that's up to you.
Well, and the other thing too, I just want to note to people that if you feel it's like, well, how can she do that via phone? How can she do that via, video? I'm telling you, the energy does transpire, and the work that I did, I'm just, edifying her, and, she was point on, like she said, she brought some people up, like she had no idea who these people were. But she was point on, calling them out and naming them. And it was really, really, if you have any question that or doubt that, it wouldn't work via internet or phone, I'm telling you it does. And, it's one of those things you just really need to just try it and, give it an opportunity to see if it does work for you.
Right.
The other thing, now you've written a book, right?
What did you say?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because my energy was activated here too, some of them might experience some level, depending on where you are spiritually and how on your growth, Some of you may experience fatigue. You may get very, very tired and you want to sleep, or you might, and so I urge you to also drink a lot of water. If you need to sleep, get your rest. Because if you really took this in, you may not have felt like energy coming through you on the thing. Some of you may have, but you will be experiencing something. Some of you may really start to, if you have that intention of changing, your subconscious mind's going to start taking over, and you're going to start yourself healing, you know. Will you be where you want? Go ahead.
I just want to note, because just in this, what we're doing, and I haven't had a cold, I haven't, you know, but I can feel drainage coming out. And I think that that's interesting. And, you know, there's, like you said, the whole pressure. I mean, I can feel that coming in. And I'm like, okay, let's like, hang on, universe. I have 3 more interviews. Could you just hold up?
They're like, nope, you asked for it. Here it is.
It is. But, you know, in our work, I did open up and I wanted, you know, some things presented, and it is crazy. And I've had some things happen. Like I said, you know, one of the things after we did our clearing, I'll just give insight, because I think people, you know, need to understand this. As soon as, you know, we got done with our work, I went down and was making supper. Actually, my dad did to make supper. And so I was washing the dishes. And as I was washing the dishes, I put a plate over. It was totally secure, nothing, you know, and all of a sudden it was like, bam, it went flying off and just shattered into pieces. And I'm like, okay, what's that about? You know, and my daughter's looking at me like, throwing dishes and breaking them, you know? And then I was finishing up and I had one little glass crystal and literally had a strong hold of it, went to put it in the cupboard, and that sucker just went flying all over. Are you okay?
Yeah, that's that mom, that woman.
I know what that is.
Yeah, that's her.
So, yeah. And but literally just pelted it into the ground, and my daughter's just looking at me like, what are you doing? You know, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could explain this to you, but you're not going to get it. So yeah. So, and things do. And literally, like, I have been dropping everything. Like today I grabbed these, right? I've got blueberries here, so I can munch on them, right? And literally I put them down and they just like flipped over. Yeah. And they like flipped over, and I'm like, there's no reason why that flipped over. You know, I'm like, It's just weird things like that. And I'm like, okay, obviously I've got somebody here that's trying to do something, but we'll talk later on that.
Yeah, you're not talking about that later.
Well, and the other thing I wanted to tell you, remember you called me afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I'll let you.
Go ahead. No, go. You go ahead.
After I talked to you, it was interesting because like I was just drained from, you know, because we were talking about your clearing. It was literally like I was exhausted and drained, and I went to bed like within an hour after you and I got done talking the other night. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, you anytime you do like energy work and stuff like that you can get very tired, you know, with that type of clearing. I noticed your video's been acting up too. But yes, I think with the blueberries flipping over, I think something needed your attention, something about your mind being clear. So if you've been foggy minded or brain fog, and I'm hearing that you guys slow down just a little bit, you know.
Patience is not my virtue, I can tell you that.
Slow down just a little bit. Have you been taking a walk? You should take a walk.
No, but I last night I went out to check on the horses, and I went, I need to be out here.
Yeah, you need to take some walks. Yeah.
Yeah. Put that down,
yeah, you and I'll talk later on that.
Well, great. Well, I just let my internet catch up here. I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you're doing. If anybody has anything, just looking here.
Any
got questions? A few people that are on here. Yeah, I don't have any questions on here, but if anybody has anything on the replay, I think we've done a really good job of answering a lot of questions too, though. So if anybody has any questions, please make sure you reach out, and, you know, like I said, you can put it in a private message. Keshia is available to, you know, answer anything and everything on this thread. We want to, you know, make sure that you guys, you know, feel safe. So if you want to do a private message, you know, that's fine too.
Oh,
if you had one modality or one that you have trying to or figure out, what this is all about, what would you give them?
You were breaking up. So you said if I have one modality to
One
teach.
modality or tip or for anybody that's on here and they're trying to figure out, where to go with this, what would you do? What would you tell them?
I would say meditate. I would say, yeah, I think that's really key with everything. It doesn't cost anything to do that. The hardest aspect of meditation is getting out of your own head. A lot have a challenge meditating and getting mindful. I recommend trying first thing in the morning before you pick up your phone or do anything else. I say spend the first 10 to 15 minutes as you open your eyes, just being. Don't try to think about anything. Just allow nothingness and just to feel what that feels like. And if you do that every morning for like the next 21 days, you would have developed that habit. And once you do that, you will see your life start to change. And how it'll change is that your day will play out different. You're activating different parts of your brain. And as you're doing that, you're going to see how you're transitioning. So that would be my first thing to tell you to do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Simple but powerful. Yeah.
It is, definitely. Is there anything else that you want to leave or give any lasting impressions to anybody out there?
Yeah, I really want you guys to embrace who you are. And if you need any help doing that, as Jordeen said, you can reach out to me personally. If not, I have a book. It's called Open. Here it is right here. Let Life Make Sense. It goes into details about the things that we spoke about. So if you've been wondering, and I'm very open in there, which is how I came up with the title. I was like, just open, so it gives you the rawness of the things that go on behind the scenes when you're going through your journey, especially if the people around you aren't there, and that's probably the hardest thing, is that you love these people. You don't want to lose them. You want to take everyone with you. And that was me. I wanted to take everybody with me, but you still want to go on your path. So it's almost like a track race where you have to pass the baton and you have to allow yourself to go through this race. And just like a butterfly, and just like you actually did this already. There was a phase in your life where you were in this womb and you had no idea what was going on. You just had to trust that the person was going to eat all the time and do all the stuff, and it felt great. You felt this energy. And then one day you got so uncomfortable. You got uncomfortable. And then you had to go through this tiny little hole, which your head was like this big. And it hurt like hell probably, but we don't remember it. But we had to go through that whole canal, push our shoulders through, push everything through. Then this weird human, probably a man, touching you for the first time. This woman screaming, and then you see lights, and you smell things, and all this stuff is weird. That was your hardest struggle, being born, and you did it when you were like 0. So if you can go through that birthing process, then you can go through your rebirthing process now. So just know you did it before, you can do it again, and you can get this. And if you, yeah, but I'll have the links in the thing for you, so that way they can click on that if they want to start charting the pro program to learn how to do things. But yeah, you got this, guys. You got it.
Well, that's awesome. Now, on your book Open, can you put the link in there for that as well? And can they buy that on Amazon? Is there a digital format? How do they get their hands on that?
Yes, they can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. There is a digital, so they can get the Kindle version or whatever, the Nook version. Cool. Yeah, they can get all of that.
Good.
They get the physical.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you all and foremost. Like I said, gratitude has been where my heart is coming, and I am so excited and grateful. And it was Bria that connected us, right?
Yeah.
How did we? Yes. I have to make note of that. I have to thank Bria. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. Yeah. So, and if anybody, if you're looking to kind of figure out what this is all about and you're catching the replay, remember these sessions are only up for 72 hours. If you want to grab that all access pass, that's $90. I'll tell you, it's worth it, because just, going through this, what Keshia has here. And then, we've got some meditations that have been done in there. And just the knowledge of what these healers are bringing to you, for $90 up, they're giving you actual actions that you can actually take with you. And I'll tell you, it's a heck of a steal for $97. So Keshia,
it is. Because it is, because a lot of people can't you think that you'll remember it, but if we only remember 60% of what we've read, imagine how much you've already forgotten just in this hour, much less what happened yesterday and going forward. So I definitely recommend it. I think that's a great deal.
No, it's phenomenal. So I want to give you the opportunity to have one last saying, and then we're going to head out of here. And just so everybody knows, up next is Vince Kramer. I'm really excited to have him in. We worked with him on the leadership development, and he's been real phenomenal on what he's got to offer. But Keshia, I just want to thank you again. But I'll give you any last moments here if you have anything you want to say.
Well, thank everyone for taking out the time to listen today. And it's all about universal love, which is turning one into love. So let's get ourselves back there. And I hope you have a phenomenal day. And don't forget to visit my website, KeshiaMartin.com.
Yes, that link will be in here. And I want to just thank everybody for jumping on here. And we will see you, everybody, at 11:30, which is in about 15 minutes. That gives me time to go let the dogs in, because I just realized I'm outside. So life is real, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I had to put mine away. So
awesome. Well, thank you again, hon. And you have an awesome day.
Okay, you too, hon. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.